Hey there everyone, I am back after a crazy weekend in Barcelona, Spain. 6 of my friends and I flew to Barcelona and back, stayed there for 3 nights, and got to experience everything that is Barcelona. I'm really keen on sightseeing, I'm very touristy, and so I had to see La Sagrada Familia and Park Güell, some of the Olympic Stadium, Montjuic, and just a lot of these other great sites that are in Barcelona. But the friends that I went with were very college guys, and so we had to go out at night and experience the nightlife of Barcelona, which was also really crazy. And so through some of these events, I encountered prostitutes, transvestites, pickpockets, some crazy people from all over the world. And it was just a really interesting experience, but it was a lot of fun. And now I'm back, and we're absolutely exhausted, but I'm really excited to share what I've been up to these past few days in Barcelona with you. Hey everyone, here in Barcelona, Spain, and I am on the top of a mountain pretty much. We've climbed across Barcelona all day. You can see the cross behind me, but what's directly in front of me is a lot more impressive. This is Barcelona. Hey everyone, I'm here in Barcelona, Spain, in front of La Sagrada Familia, and this is probably one of the biggest construction projects in the world. It's been going on over 100 years. It's a really famous building, and it's really cool, so check it out.
The left, if I'm facing towards Catalonia, or if I'm facing right.
So when I go to Barcelona, I make sure that I'm prepared, and I had 2 complete guidebooks with me because I wanted to see all the sights of Barcelona. And so we spent about a full day just wandering the entire city. And so I had a lot of fun because I saw La Sagrada Familia, which is Gaudi's masterpiece pretty much. It's a cathedral that he built, and the first stone was laid in 1882, but it's been under construction ever since. And Gaudi died in the 1920s, but it's continued and is currently, I think, the most visited construction site in the entire world, and it is absolutely amazing. It was absolutely great to go inside and see all this work, and there's intricate detail everywhere. We went up the tower, and 100 meters in the air, there's these small intricate details that were just fascinating to see, and it's stunning pretty much. There's different facades, and so we saw the Nativity facade, we also saw the Passion, which was under construction still, and so there's still a lot of work left to be done, but it's scheduled to be finished in 2026, in time to mark Gaudi's 100th anniversary of his death. After visiting La Sagrada Familia, we actually went to another site by Gaudi, and it's Park Güell. And what this is pretty much a garden estate that was designed in the early 1900s for the upper class and the elite members of society. And unfortunately, it failed as a garden city, and so now it just became a beautiful park for everyone to come and to visit. And there's a pavilion there, and on that is the world's longest park bench. So I had to make sure that I got a picture on that. And just walking around, Gaudi has a very unique style, and it's kind of weird to see it in La Sagrada Familia. Then you come to a park and you see it in bridges, but it was just a nice place to see. And after that, I continued on. I saw La Casa Batlló. The purpose of Casa Batlló was to honor the patron saint of Barcelona, and so the house looks like a dragon with a scaly roof, and the victims are marked by the bony structures of the balcony. But the patron saint is honored because on the roof the chimney represents a lance, killing the dragon and saving the citizens. And so that's the story behind Casa Batlló. Lastly, we had to go and see La Pedrera, which is another famous work by Gaudi. So if you haven't noticed, Gaudi is everywhere in Barcelona. Of course, there's more to the city than that. I was able to travel to Montjuic, which is a mountaintop village kind of, and has a castle up there. So you could see some panoramic views of all of Barcelona. We took a cable car up there, and also up near the mountain is the Olympic torch, because Barcelona hosted the 1992 Olympic Games. So I got to see that, which is kind of fun. I didn't get to see the stadium, which I really wanted to see, but oh well. And then in the evenings, we would head down to Las Ramblas, which is probably the most famous street in Spain. There's street vendors everywhere, there's street performers. They are dressed up as basically everything, from gargoyles to statues to who knows what. We also saw Plaza Catalunya, La Hospital de Santa Cruz, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and the second longest running hospital in all of Europe. The monument to Christopher Columbus, Port Vell, and basically we saw almost every historic and just tourist site in Barcelona. So I fulfilled my dream. I continued with my nickname of Guidebook, very much so, but I mean, I had to do it because this is Barcelona and who knows, and I'll be able to come back. Since we were in Barcelona, we of course tasted some of the culinary adventures that are in Barcelona. Well, not exactly. We did have paella one evening, which is a classic Spanish dish of rice and some seafood and meat of some kind, depending on the variation. But other than that, we ate at Burger King, McDonald's twice, we got Chinese food. We were kind of living on a budget. It's pretty expensive in Barcelona, and so we resorted to whatever we were hungry for or could afford, which is mainly fast food that we could have anywhere in the States. But still, we did have the paella, which is a nice thing, and we also went to a market once so we could get some fruit, look around and shop a little bit. There's cheeses and meats, and so that was kind of fun. Of course, like I mentioned, there's nightlife in Barcelona, and so we did go out to a few bars and clubs in the evenings, and one was called Dow Jones Bar, and it was about as American as you could get, which is, I think, the reason that we actually went to it. And Dow Jones Bar is a place where all the drinks are listed on monitors on the ceiling, and as soon as one person buys a drink, that price immediately goes up and all the other prices for the other drink go down. So it's basically the stock market with constantly changing prices, and it's reset. And so that was kind of a fun place to go. We found some people from our hostel. They were from the US, but they were in Madrid working, and so we hung out with them for a while, and we kind of found nicknames for everyone in our group by the end of our trip. I was Guidebook before I came, but I also became known as GPS, TomTom, Garmin. We met someone named Octavio. He became 8-Ball. I hung out with him for a long time. We have someone named Abanoff, but we just call him Slater. We have a guy named Jimmy, who's kind of a frat boy from Wake Forest. We just call him Captain America. And so it was fun to hang out with all these people, visit the different places, eat and drink the culture of Barcelona. Some people in our group had absinthe, which is, you kind of have to know it in order to understand it. Also sangria, which is like wine and sugar and fruit. And so we kind of had a vastness with sightseeing and culture and food, and we tried to fit it in, even with the fast food. We didn't have to spend all of our time sightseeing though, and then we took Friday and had that day basically completely to relax and just recover a little bit. We slept in late, and then we went to the beach. And Barcelona is located on the Mediterranean Sea, and so it's a really hot day, but we went to the beach and we swam around for a while, and unfortunately Barcelona is famous for pickpocketers. They're everywhere, and so while we were lying down, one of my friends actually had shoes stolen from right next to his head while he was sleeping. And so he had to go and buy camo sandals, walk around the rest of the day in those. But besides going to the beach, we also went to a few clubs and bars, and one was called Dixie Bar, and what was there was Guitar Hero. So my friends dressed up, they played Guitar Hero, there was a tournament, and they actually did really well in it. It's kind of fun just to go out and experience something that maybe you have in some cities, but is somewhat different here in Barcelona. And so we also went out, though, in some of these bars and clubs. We started walking around the city a little bit, and so we walked down Las Ramblas at night, and somehow my friends thought that they had made new friends at the bar. It turns out that they were actually prostitutes, and so we quickly split away from them. Walking the streets, one of my other friends had an incident with a transvestite. We had ate some food from street vendors, which immediately made some people sick the entire next day. And so it was an absolutely crazy experience, but it was definitely worth it. It was kind of nice to get back, though. This trip's made me a little worried about my travels after this program is done, because it's exhausting to travel. It's hot, you're tired, you can only see so much, and you get tired of other people. But I still have high hopes for the rest of my trips, but now I need to go back and prepare for classes and finals this coming week. But hopefully you enjoyed hearing about my adventures in Barcelona as much as I had actually living them. And I will see you next week.